beastly bitch.
Yep, you know me. I said I was gonna league start Pathfinder, and when I say Pathfinder, I think busted shit, bro. And don't get it twisted, I'm still gonna play a Pathfinder, bro, but now I'm torn. I did a little bit more research on the patch notes, and you know, I think Big Homie might got it. As you know, 0.4 is about to drop, and just looking at the patch notes again, there are some huge changes to supports and aftershocks, and I would like to salvage what I love, what we love. Slams, huge AoE, raw smash power. I'm gonna walk you through why I think the Titan could end up going absolutely nuts with these new patch changes, and I think this could be more busted than any meta we've ever seen in this game so far. So we are about to be on patch 0.4.0, code name the last of the Druids, and it brings a bunch of dramatic changes, bro, with the new class and the shapeshift forms, as you will all seen. The bear, the wolf, and the wyvern, and the new animal talismans, and reworks to a bunch of support gems and mechanics. Among those changes, my eyes just opened up so wide when I seen one, and in my opinion, it's a major one. Impact Shockwave now actually creates aftershocks and can support non-strike wind attacks. This is huge. They've removed the old surprising strength node, which used to give us 40% more damage against heavy stunned enemies, but have since buffed the prerequisite node for the one that you had to get before you got to it, crushing impacts, which is your hits are crushing blows, which now also gives 25% more damage against heavy stunned enemies. So we're just not out of there yet. Stay with me. But they also added a new node called Mountain Splitter, which is every third slam that doesn't create a fissure causes 3 additional aftershocks, 1 ahead and 1 to each side. Bro, what? So what does this mean for a hybrid, right? What does it mean for Titan? Well, for starters, aftershocks are just a lot more reliable and powerful because by default, they duplicate the initial hit's damage and area, effectively repeating your slam or strike for nearly the same power. And now you got 20 meters in the middle, the one you put down on the ground, and 20 meters on the left side, and 20 meters on the right side, and 20 meters in front of it, and they probably overlap. And you can make slam attacks generate additional aftershocks with support gems and passives. Stay with me. The Furious Slam attack or skill from the bear creates a pair of shockwaves. A pair of titties is how many? Now mix that in with Hulking form. How much AoE do you need? Yes. You know what else is a slam? Rolling slam. You do with that information as you please. So what is the actual dream build vision, you large gigantic man? I'm glad you asked. As stated in my previous video, the best druid will not be on a druid, but I can almost medium certainly say that the best bear will be either on a warrior or a mercenary. We do not have the updated PoB yet. I'd say that out loud like I'm just very fancy with the PoB. I'm not. But if you'd like to show me and teach me how to finesse it, join the Discord. I'd love it. But I say that to say we don't have any information on those. I think it's around 250 new passive nodes along the druid side of the tree, which is the northwestern hemisphere of the passive tree. But again, we have some new toys, and those toys in some way, shape, or form will interact with hulking form. If you can make everything big or better, why not be bigger and better? So what are you thinking, you large gigantic man? What? I gotcha. So hulking form with giant's blood, a talisman, and life regen and leech, plus armor and evasion, hopefully. As for now, we do not know how thick the stat requirements are going to be for the talisman, but hopefully it's just not another Mjolnir situation. I love me some Yali. I do not like having to try to finesse and get around 1,000,000 strength and 1,000,000 intelligence, because those, no. I'm hoping that it caps off really low, so like a good weapon to be like 72 strength and 72 intelligence, and then we can just play ball after that. But either way, we will be strength stacking and getting as much life as possible, simply because a bear is a bear, you know, you're gonna get hit. Now we're tanky, we have our situation situated. Now think about damage. We're gonna be slam skill and aftershock spamming, because with aftershock support and mountain splitter, slam builds just simply became stronger, bro. Every few hits, you're going to get multiple aftershock triggers, and this aligns with what aftershock mechanics do, which is replicate hits, often for the same damage, and I mean multiplying your damage output, brother. And don't let your slam attacks become empowered, because there's a whole collage of nodes for empowered attacks. There is a whole collage of nodes for aftershock AoE. Stay with me. From the patch notes, Impact Shockwave now supports non-strike wind attack. So if you want to go more hybrid and maybe even just like a wind-based slam aftershock, some kind of wild hybrid with tornado slash aftershock mechanics, is risky and experimental, but possible. Just remember, you heard it here first, that Wyvern, Wing Blast, aftershocks, that was my idea first. If you are unaware, most of the wind skills in Path of Exile 2 offer some sort of bonus, and that bonus will scale toward your stun buildup, i.e. a daze or a blind, which gives the enemies less accuracy rating toward you, so you can just keep hitting them. Meaning that is a very valuable strategy for building out this Titan, since we get extra damage against heavy stunned enemies, even with the extra damage on our slams and the extra damage on our aftershocks. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Eventually in this build, if we can get some way somehow for our bear form to prime enemies in a large AoE, and then get our wyvern to wind blast everyone in a large AoE and have aftershocks after everything,
we become a walking calamity.
Walking Calamity reads, while in bear form, build glory by gaining rage while already at the maximum rage. When you have maximum glory, roar to the heavens and bring them down upon your enemies. For the duration of the skill, as long as you remain in bear form, meteors rain down around you. You gain fire damage and rage regeneration. Why is this crazy? So this ability is basically an ult. In any other video game, this is an ult. Yeah, bro, you gotta like do a bunch of damage to an enemy. You have to collect enough coins or do something to regenerate this kind of power in any other video game. In Path of Exile 2, you have to generate glory, and glory can be gathered in a bunch of ways. But for this skill in particular, it states that all rage gained after being at maximum rage, it all turns into glory. And at 20 stacks of glory, you can use this skill. Why do I even want to use this skill though? You know, some people can't read, and that's okay. That's what I'm here for. Bottom line, the skill fires a meteor every 0.05 seconds. Listen, this is a level 13 gem that we were looking at as an example, with 149% attack damage for the small meteors. This is happening every 0.05 seconds. Every 20 meteors that drop, a big meteor will drop, dealing 374% attack damage. Every 0.05 seconds, a regular sized meteor drops. That means every 1 second, for free, we're dealing 374% attack damage at only skill level 13. The buff has a duration tag and lasts 10 seconds by default, meaning that you're going to get 10 fat meteors minimum. I will from now on be referring to them as lil meteors and fat meteors. Deal with it. Since the skill tag says, while in bear form, build glory by gaining rage while already at maximum rage, I presume that you get to maximum rage, then you swap to bear form, and then you gain more rage by doing the exact same thing we would have done outside of bear form in this build, which is slam the ground and let the aftershocks hit enemies again and again, and getting 1 rage on hit, etc., etc. Stay with me. Unless this is some sort of oversight and they change this right before the patch drops, this can easily become the strongest thing this game has ever seen. Period. On a Titan. Maximum AoE, maximum fire damage, maximum melee damage. With hulking form, now you got maximum duration if you want to do it like that. And you're building glory because you have all of this aftershock proc constantly hitting and hitting and hitting off of one swing. So you put down something and then aftershocks, you move to the next area and aftershock and aftershock and aftershock. Brother. And you guys know, just like I know, GGG is very strict on their wording. And I would only be concerned if somewhere in this wall of text it said this skill cannot build glory. Bro. And it's also a melee tag skill. Even though it's meteors coming from the sky, it's a melee tag. Bro, the skill also states that it grants 5 rage regenerated per second. It lasts 10 seconds. Math. I am lying out of my ass when I say this, but I hope that you cannot generate glory while you're using this skill. Some way, somehow, they will figure out a way to make this not happen. But from the way it looks right now and the information that we currently have, this is easily the strongest shit this game has ever seen, by a mile. And since it's a melee tagged skill, generate 1 rage on melee hit could potentially let you actually be a walking calamity. It also states in this wall of text that meteors fall in an 8-meter radius. Deep down in my heart, I feel like you could concentrate it effective and make every single meteor that drops fall on a single target, essentially shotgunning an enemy, unless they do some sort of mechanic, I guess, something like spark, where you just can't keep hitting the same enemy with the same skill every so and so seconds. You can't just rapidly hit them. I don't think they will. Another option I see them doing, maybe per chance, is giving it some sort of cooldown, but I hope they don't. I really hope they don't, because I just want to experience this in this game. But even then, hulking form, you can just go get all of those nodes. But since the skill regenerates 5 rage per second, I am unsure if it depletes all of your rage to be able to use it, or you can just build glory off of your rage and consume the glory, because there's other ways to build glory in this game. But even if you can't continuously 100% uptime, auto bomb, yada yada, if you're able to build rage and in turn build glory in other means while having walking calamity forms, the best way to do it would be with this build as a Titan with maximum AoE and all of your aftershock damages and aftershock proc and all of that stacking into each other, because you can use it outside of bear form and in bear form. And since you only build the glory in bear form, you've built your strikes to be able to cause aftershocks and your slams to be able to cause additional aftershocks, even with the support gem. So you never have to leave bear form anyway. Stay with me. I am also very curious to see how this interaction works with Hate Forge, where you lose all rage on reaching maximum rage, and you can get -10 maximum rage. And as we know, they're introducing a new system in Path of Exile 2 where you can take Val uniques and Val off a stat on the unique, which is new and cool as hell to me. So imagine being able to not lose all rage upon reaching maximum rage, while also getting 10 less rage to be able to gain glory even faster. In conclusion, I strongly believe that the plus 50% from hulking form with the aftershocks multiplier and the AoE scaling could turn the usual slam tank regen playstyle into something like just beyond meta. I love slam skills. I love the fantasy of hulking, bear, giant, smashing through hordes, that kind of stuff. With 0.4 changes, it feels like they heard me and they delivered. But I do understand that it's uncertain and we don't know how reliable aftershocks and all of that kind of stuff will be until we get our hands on it. We get an updated path of building, and there could be something as far as the animation canceling and slam cadence and weapon swap speed. Well, there's no weapon swap speed anymore, but from changing into a bear into a human and vice versa, there was some attack time added to that I saw in skill gems. On launch, I'm going to test a simple Titan Bear slam build with the aftershock support and the mountain splitter passive to check the clear speed, the AoE coverage, and the damage versus the density, since the density of the mobs got pushed down a little bit. I was gonna try to mix in some wind tagged attacks with impact shockwave to see if the strike aftershock equals a range AoE hybrid, if it's functional. Because if it is, that's an entirely different video, which I heard it from me first. Just don't forget me, dude. I'm gonna monitor stun build up and use crushing impacts to see if heavy stun and the damage bonuses actually trigger with the aftershock chain, because it could just be some this isn't calculated in the attack damage and yada yada type stuff, but it's gonna be a situation. Just wrapping it up, we might just be looking at one of the most fun, smashy, slapdash melee builds in Path of Exile 2 history so far. This could end up being something that's just, why didn't we think to take this out of the game as soon as it's up and running and functioning? If anybody else wants to try it, I'm curious to see what you guys can come up with as well. Post the results. Come to the Discord. I'm gonna keep saying it till we jump and we booming. Yeah, come to the Discord. Show us the build progress, and we might just end up having ourselves a sleeper meta. Anyways, see you all in Ray class. Bring your talisman, bring your rage, and then let's smash the world to pieces. Love y'all. Bye.